It happened early one morning when the sky was still dark and the world felt unfinished. The kind of hour where even the city seems half asleep and the streets feel hollow. The air was cold and damp, and a thin mist clung to the pavement like it didn't want to leave. I was walking to my bus stop, half awake, eating a banana and thinking about something completely unimportant. I remember debating whether I should stop for coffee before work or wait until after my commute. My mind was on schedules and routines and nothing else. Nothing dangerous, nothing serious. The street was quiet in a way that felt wrong, not peaceful, just empty. The street lights flickered weakly, casting long shadows across the sidewalk. Trash sat in dark corners near broken fences. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked, and then went silent again. Each step sounded louder than it should have. My shoes scraped against the concrete, and the echo followed me like another set of footsteps. I hugged my jacket closer to my body and tried to ignore the feeling that I was alone in a place that didn't want me there. I told myself I was being dramatic. I walked this route all the time. Nothing bad had ever happened here before. Still, my eyes kept drifting to the ends of the street, searching for movement I didn't want to see. I rounded the corner of my street without slowing down. That's when I saw him. A tall figure stepped out from the darkness of an alley to my left. At first, my tired brain didn't register what I was looking at. Just a shape moving where no one should have been standing. He wore a black mask that covered his face, and his clothes blended into the shadows like he belonged there. I almost walked right past him. For a second, I considered pretending I hadn't noticed. I thought maybe if I kept walking, nothing would happen. Maybe this was just someone waiting for a ride or taking a shortcut. Then he spoke. "Put down your purse." His voice was sharp and loud, cutting through the quiet street like glass breaking. Before I could react, something cold and metallic pressed near my head. My body froze before my mind caught up. It felt like the world narrowed to one small point. The mist, the street light, the sound of my own breathing. I could smell the banana on my hands. Sticky and sweet and completely out of place. "Put down your bags," he said again. I heard my own voice answering him, too calm and too fast. Okay, I'm putting them down." I placed my things on the sidewalk a few feet away, trying to move slowly, trying not to make him angry. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. My knees felt weak, like they might fold without warning. "Come here," he ordered. "Get down on the ground." I'm coming," I said, like if I kept talking, the moment would stay under control. I knelt on the pavement. The concrete was cold through my clothes. My hands shook, and I pressed them flat against the ground to hide it. My thoughts scattered in every direction at once. I remember thinking about how wrong everything felt, how quiet it was, how no one else was around, how the street looked exactly the same as it always did, even though my life felt like it had cracked open. I couldn't stop talking. "Look, my stuff is over there. You can take it. Just take it." That's when he shouted, "Shut the hell up." His weight came down on me suddenly. The pressure of his body forced the air from my lungs. I felt something hard pressed against my head again. My cheek was against the pavement, and all I could see was the cracked sidewalk inches from my face. The smell of damp concrete filled my nose. My breath sounded too loud in my ears. I wondered if anyone inside the nearby houses could hear me. I wondered if anyone would come outside if I screamed. I wondered if this was the moment people talk about when everything changes. I should mention something important. I was dressed in baggy clothes that morning. Oversized jacket, hat pulled low, loose pants. If you looked quickly, I probably didn't look like a woman at all. More like a kid wearing borrowed clothes. But when I spoke, my voice gave me away. There was a pause, a long, terrifying pause. I felt him shift. The weight lifted slightly. He stood up, stepping back from me. For a moment, neither of us moved. The silence felt thicker than the mist. I could hear my heartbeat inside my ears. I didn't dare look up, and then he pointed toward the alley. "Come with me." The alley was narrow and dark. I could barely see into it. Trash bags were stacked against the wall. A broken fence leaned inward. It looked like a place where light went to disappear. My stomach twisted. I remembered news stories. Stories about people being taken in daylight. Stories about things that happened when no one was around. Two voices argued in my head. One said, "Do what he says." The other said, "No, never go with him." He yelled again. "Follow me," I answered out loud. "I'm coming." And that was the mistake he made. He believed me. I took one small step backward, then another. Slowly, like I was still obeying. My legs trembled so badly I thought I might fall. My chest felt too tight to breathe properly. He turned his body toward the alley. His attention shifted away from me for just a second. That second was everything. I lowered my head and ran. I don't remember choosing a direction. I just moved. My legs burned almost instantly. The street blurred around me. I heard my own voice screaming, high and broken, before I even realized it was coming from me. I expected to hear footsteps. I expected to hear shouting. I expected something to grab me from behind. Nothing did. I ran until my lungs felt like they were tearing. 6 blocks, maybe 7. My shoes slapped against the pavement. My hands were numb. The banana peel fell somewhere behind me, forgotten. When I finally slowed down, I bent over and tried to breathe. The street looked normal again. Houses, lights and windows, parked cars. It felt like I crossed into another world. I walked home in shaking pieces. Every shadow looked like him. Every sound felt too loud. Every passing car made my heart jump. An hour later, the police checked the alley. There was nothing there. No sign of him, no trace of what almost happened. Just my bag still lying where I dropped it. For days after, my body felt wrong, like it was still running. My hands wouldn't stop trembling. My sleep came in broken pieces. I replayed the moment over and over in my mind. What if I hadn't spoken? What if I'd walked toward the alley? What if I'd frozen? Sometimes I still think about that corner of the street. How close it was to being the last place I ever stood freely. How thin the line was between before and after. Nothing supernatural happened that morning. No ghosts, no monsters. Just a choice. And the echo of footsteps that never came.